You know, everybody has tons of stories of their adventures in this thing called professional wrestling, and being there for over 30 years, I've got my fair share of stories. I think it just adds a whole nother life to the life that people do know of The Undertaker.
Now, the dead man rises. The folklore of his legendary journey have been unearthed, and the tales of The Undertaker are about to be revealed. Hear the stories straight from the Phenom himself. This is Undertaker, The Last Ride. Tales from the Dead Man. For 30 years, the Phenom, The Undertaker, has remained a mystery to the WWE Universe. An indestructible supernatural force, more myth than man. The dead man's secrets have been buried in the deepest depths of the graveyard. Now, discover the lore behind the legend.
The Undertaker, sending chills up and down the spine.
Let us begin with the most auspicious origin story of the Phenom, involving a mysterious egg of gigantic proportions.
This is about the time we were building for Survivor Series. Survivor Series is always in November, right around Thanksgiving.
Let's not forget, Hot Rod, about that humongous Brontosaurus Rex egg over there. It's gonna be hatched here.
So now they got this giant egg, right? And now I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I just knew it. I knew it to my core that I was gonna come out of that egg. I was just like, oh man, I'm gonna be Eggman. I'm gonna be Egghead. He's gonna make me shave my head and shave my eyebrows. I'm gonna be the Eggman. So I'm just like totally stressed out about, getting the phone call and having to be Eggman. Sure enough, one day the phone rings. So I answered the phone. Hello. Now we didn't have, there was no caller ID at the time or any of that business. So, it's like, hello, is this The Undertaker? And it took me a second to process, like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's Vince. And he called me Undertaker. That ain't nothing like Eggman. Yes, sir, yes, this is The Undertaker. Like, I had no idea what Undertaker, his vision was, anything about it. All I knew was it wasn't Eggman, and I wasn't coming out of that egg. It was like a sense of,
Eggman was not to be. Instead, a denizen from Death Valley, The Undertaker made his spectacular and chilling debut at the 1990 Survivor Series.
Holy cow! Look at the size of that hammer!
At last, the dead man had arrived and was charting his path of destruction. A path which ran through the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. No journey is without its perils, as the way into the garden proved a mighty challenge, even for the Phenom.
the first couple of times that I came to the garden, everybody was established with the character. So we had to, originally we walked out the side, we had to go across the street to the parking garage. Back then we had no security other than the NYC police. You got to get through that ocean of people, and you basically had to fend for yourself and get into your car. You're stuck in traffic with just thousands of people beating on your rent-a-car, thinking about, man, did I take the deductible out, or did I take the loss damage waiver out on this thing? They came up with the idea, Paul Bear and I would go over and park our car. I think it was a Ramada that had this parking garage, and we would go over there. They would send the ambulance in there. We would get in the ambulance. they would bring us in the ambulance. Nobody would see us. And then, you know, usually we were on last or next to last. So we were at the end of the night. So they'd put us back in the ambulance, and then they'd take us back to the Ramada. It worked good for a couple of years. And then one night, I mean, it was a cold New York winter night, and we're cruising across town. And then we roll up to the Ramada parking. I swear there had to have been 2,500 fans there. Somehow it got out, somebody had figured it out. So we are stuck standing there waiting on our car, and there's 2,500 fans just on top of us. It was like, well, it was nice while it lasted, but this gig is up, and now we had to figure out a new strategy to how to get in and out of the Garden. There's no place that I hate getting into more than the Garden. No place I'd rather work once I got in it, you know. I mean, that was just truth. It was great once you got in inside, but man, the process, it was exhausting.
A bit of smoke and mirrors on the part of the Phenom and his trusty manager, Paul Bearer. While the Undertaker's public persona was often shrouded in mystery, a select few were invited to be part of the dead man's inner circle. The price of admission, some good old-fashioned camaraderie, and a lot of whiskey, which often led to an interesting night.
Rumor has it that the Godfather and I were known to put away large amounts of whiskey. Let me just put this disclaimer out there that this was a long, long time ago. And so we invited a bunch of people back to our hotel room.
We were at a party, we were drinking, and I'm not gonna mention the names that were there, but a lot of people were there.
So there's probably 15 people in the room, and now we're still drinking. Well, he has this really cool Stetson riverboat gambler hat. I was like, man, that is a really cool hat. He goes, you know, and he's like looking at himself in the mirror like, you like that? Man, I just got that, you know? I said, yeah, that's sharp, man. I said, I'm gonna find one like that. Through the course of the night, he comes over to me and he goes, here.
And I decided that I was gonna give my hat to him.
He gives me the hat, right?
And he's like, no, big dog, it looks better on you. I'm like, no, it looks better on you.
No, you're taking the hat. I'm giving it to you. You got it. You have to take it. And I'm like, no, that's your hat. That's a cool hat. Looks good on you. Thanks, but no thanks, kind of a deal.
And so it became a thing where, no, you wear it, no, I wear it.
You gonna take the hat? No, I'm not taking your hat.
So he gives me the hat, goes in the bathroom and locks the door.
So, you know, I'm there doing my business, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm like, what in the world? I turn around, he's hitting the door. The door's not breaking. The door frame, it's coming at me. Then he's standing there, you know, he's like, you're taking the damn hat. So I take the door and I put my head through it. I take the door off my head, go out on the balcony, sling this door. I'm looking back at, you know, everybody like, I showed him, right? I turned back around, and that joker's in a three-point stance. And he heard Hut. He blasts me and lands on top of me between the two beds.
We went after it, man, and I'm telling you, we're good friends, but we're really going after it.
I mean, like two big giant kids, right? He says, no, you're gonna take the hat, you know? And I'm like, no, I'm not taking the hat. And so, but he won't let me up either, and I can't get out. And so finally it was like, okay, I'll take the hat. So that's all you had to say. He got up, found the hat, it had been stepped on already, put the hat on. Thank you for the hat. Sounds ridiculous, I know, but just, you had to be there.
But the moral to the story is he took the hat. So I won because he took the hat.
That was a pretty typical night. We had lots of nights like that.
Typical family drama. A moment of celebration between two brothers quickly turns into a night of chaos and destruction. In the end, the infamous Bone Street crew came out stronger and more united than ever before. Two warriors, hardened by years of mileage together. The road is home to many of the dead man's greatest tales. Like our next story, a tale of two wayward travelers, lost on a path to parts unknown.
Mark Calaway, the person, is one of my best friends and one of the best people you'll ever meet. Genuine, really salt of the earth, but a hardworking guy, true professional in every sense of the word. I'll tell you, just a funny story. We were in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's early on with the Undertaker and Brother Love still. So we wanted to get out of TV pretty quick.
We jump in the car and we want to get from Chattanooga to Atlanta. That was our goal.
We start hauling ass and we get lost.
Not knowing our way around too well, we end up in a pretty seedy neighborhood and a pretty sketchy part of town.
So we pull up into a gas station. I roll the window down, I'm in the passenger side.
Bruce, hey buddy, hey, you think you could give us some directions to the interstate?
And the guy comes up and is like, well, maybe you can help me out.
Well, I don't know, maybe if I had 10, 15 bucks, maybe I could help you, maybe, I don't know.
Guys start coming around the car like they're gonna try and mess with us.
Now he can see Bruce, but he can't see me at all. And I'm thinking, oh man, this is gonna be bad. So as he leans down, I give him the old.
Guy backs up, almost falling down, and goes, man, what's wrong with that dude? He looks like he just killed somebody.
Yeah, I could hear him mumbling it. You're like, damn, that man, he looked dead.
Okay, listen, this is what you guys gotta do. You're gonna go down here 2 blocks, you're gonna turn right, that's gonna take you right to the highway. Y'all need to get the hell out of here. True story, and it was absolutely hilarious, and we just kind of took off.
A mere glance from the Phenom is all it takes to make mortal men quiver. Among the dead man's travels, some have taken on mythological status, like this next saga, an infamous excursion around the world that will be forever known as the Flight from Hell.
We were in Birmingham. I had done a handicap match with Stone Cold and Triple H. Somewhere through the course of the match, I take one of Austin's knee braces right in the side of the head. Dings me up a little bit, and it split the top part of my ear in half.
Undertaker, bleeding from the ear!
There was a noise ordinance, so we had to take off before a certain time. So I was presented with the option of stay there in the UK, get my ear sewed up and taken care of there, and then fly home the next day, or fly with the rest of the crew on the charter. Obviously, I opted to fly back to the States on the charter. I had a headache, my ears throbbing, everything. So I'm kind of in and out of consciousness, and it's just one of those flights where the boys were having a really good time.
This is your captain speaking.
Vince was on the flight, and Vince keeps trying to take down Kurt Angle and vice versa, and they're having this contest the whole way back from the UK. And I'm just kind of laying in my seat, and all of a sudden, I feel this kind of bumping around my feet, and I look down, and Kurt's on top of Vince. And I'm like, what the hell? Why is Kurt attacking Vince? So I just popped out of my seat, put a rear naked choke on Kurt. Kurt's final words were like, "Tate, you're choking me out." And by that time, everybody's like, "No, they're playing. And so I let go, got my seat, fell back asleep. From what I understand, and from the looks of the plane, when I did wake up at the end, it was a pretty wild flight.
A flight from hell indeed. Lesson learned. Do not cross the boss. The Undertaker was usually the calm within the storm that surrounded him, except when the dead man's affinity for fire put a fellow Bone Street crew member in a heated situation.
I guess some of the fondest memories are in hotel rooms, just playing cards. All the BSK boys, that core group of guys, we were always together. Yokozuna, he was always in a good mood. Always wanted to play cards or dominoes. We were in Kuwait together. No, they don't have adult beverages over there. We were in my room playing cards, and we were all kind of getting a little bit stir crazy. I remember taking a match, and I'm setting them on fire and flicking the matches and trying to hit people with them. Big Yoke was on the other side of the table from me, and I flicked one, and it went right over his head. I didn't realize that it landed in the back of his hair. All of a sudden, I start seeing all this smoke coming up. I said, Rod, turn around, right? I turn around, sure enough, his hair is on fire. And then it was just like 5 guys just pounding him to death, just trying to put the fire out, but just more getting some free shots on him. He laughed it off. Just a great dude, man. I really miss him.
Incurring the wrath of the great Yokozuna is not for the faint of heart. The dead man's actions no doubt demanded retribution. Tale for another time. In the WWE locker room, as in the world at large, there are matters that can only be adjudicated by going before a magistrate. In the WWE, there was only one entity worthy to sit upon the bench of justice and pass down the ultimate judgment to those who stand before him.
What was Wrestler's Court?
I love it. A Wrestler's Court was a mediation process in the locker room, which would often just turn into entertainment for the guys.
Boys would bring up charges. For example, you're traveling together, everybody splits up their trans, and maybe you didn't pay your fair share of trans. The case would have to be heard in Wrestler's Court to determine guilt or innocence.
The offended person had to get himself a lawyer. And then, of course, they had a prosecuting attorney who oftentimes was JBL, who was great at it. But you had the hanging judge.
Every now and then you might have been a choice of who lawyers were, but there was never a choice about who was the judge.
There was one guy that was judge, jury, executioner, godfather of everyone, and that was Undertaker.
He's one of the guys that people went to when there were issues in the dressing room, there were problems. He was the great mediator. He was the judge. People thought that much of him. I don't know if anybody has more respect than Undertaker.
Wrestler's Court was a lighthearted way to get the message across that you're screwing up. And your coworkers know that you're screwing up, and they don't much appreciate it. You've kind of made your bed, now you got to lie in it.
Well, I was brought up at Wrestler's Court one time. Al Snow and I were judged guilty of leaving Bob Holly hanging at the airport while we went on carnival rides. Apparently, leaving another one of the guys hanging was a serious offense and was treated as such.
If you're accused, then Taker would render the judgment. Well, then all drinks are on you tonight, or, whatever it might be.
It was usually a case of beer, a bottle of Jack Daniels. You got to pay for my hotel room for 3 days. You got to pay for my rent-a-car for a week. Those were usually the outcomes of the sentences.
Yeah, you might get called out and get embarrassed a little bit, but it's what do you do with it from there? And I try to give some type of advice that there was actually some content and merit to what was happening.
A lot of times it would be a good laugh, honestly, and you could just kind of go there and it was this ridiculous spectacle.
Anything you can do to kind of alleviate some of the stress and tension of the road, it was more times than not good, harmless fun.
the story about Xavier Woods giving you the gift of a gavel?
Yeah, I was kind of blown away, really. One day, I showed up at TV, and lo and behold, Xavier presented me with my official gavel. I was really impressed with that, and it meant a lot. And I still have the gavel. I just happened to have it on me, right here. But that's it, man. It's really nice. It says Judge Undertaker on it. I haven't actually had to use it in wrestler's court, but my kids have definitely had the gavel slammed down on their actions. One of the cooler gifts that I've been given through the years. It means a lot to me.
The Undertaker truly was judge, jury, and executioner when it came to matters of grave concern, both backstage and in the ring. These are but a few of the tales that enhance the myth and legendary status of the Phenom. A mere glimpse into the great book of secrets that have made the dead man the most enduring figure to all who experienced his presence. And until the time comes to reveal more of the great untold tales of The Undertaker, they, like many souls The Undertaker has taken, will rest in peace.
There is only one man who has stood the test of time.
I want them thinking, this guy's got a lot left in the tank. If I can leave with that, I'll be content. I can walk away. I say that, but I've been saying it for a long time. You start to hear things, people talking, he's too old, he shouldn't do this, he shouldn't do that. Well, that's up for me to decide.
I think that's the danger, that you don't know when it's time.
As we get older, even though our brain says go, our body says no. But the red light hits, all of a sudden you can't help it.
For the last few years, I've had this internal struggle of, I don't want to stay too long and become a parody of myself.
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
People have no idea how much pain he's in physically.
You're about to put your whole legacy on the line, and you know that you have no business being in that match.
I have no doubt Mark can do anything he puts his mind to. I sometimes wonder if he knows.
You start second-guessing yourself. Is it me? Have I lost that big a step? Are you the reason why this stuff is happening?
Oh my God!
I was 2 inches away from making my wife a widow, my kids fatherless.
You guys have enough of this, please. Thank you.
All the time sitting there just tapping on the back of his shoulder, waiting for him to turn around and say, hey, dude, it's time. Stay healthy, man. Keep running up that road.
It's really tough getting older in this business. It just comes with time. Your body's gonna break down.
We're coming in hot!
He's given his life to his business. It's hard to let go.
I'm either going to go out with a match that's fitting the Undertaker at WrestleMania, or I'm going out on my shield one way or another.